This podcast is sponsored by BB Makes, a family-run personalised gift company. From sports bottles to team merchandise, BB Makes has you covered. They will happily work with you to create unique designs for your perfect gift, with a wide range of products, all able to be personalised with names, quotes, pictures and much more. Head over to bbmakes.com. That's www.bebemakes.com and use the code COIS so they know that we sent you. Oh, and of course, come on you Spurs.
Welcome to the Spurs News Podcast, your home for all things Tottenham Hotspur. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the Spurs News Podcast. I am Sam, joining me once again to discuss all the madness that is Tottenham Hotspur. It's my current partner in crime, it's Stefan.
Hey buddy, how's it going?
Rough.
Yeah, this has not been a week for either of us, has it?
No,
it's been a long week. Oh.
No, so there's a lot of illness around, and it would appear that we've been struck down by a strange variant of man flu, which is evil.
Sucked. It sucked.
Yes, yeah.
I've spent 2 days in bed this week.
Lucky lady.
Yeah. No, I've been in the spare room.
Hello, ladies. I spent 2 days in the bed. Isn't it amazing how the same sentence takes on completely different meaning depending on your age?
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're in our teens. Look at you. I spent a couple of days in bed this week. Yeah, boy. In your 20s, you're like, oh, why? Did you get flu? And then you sort of 30s and 40s, like, oh my God, is your back out?
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah. Life's fun, he says.
Not enjoying this getting older. Not even.
No. Here's another thing, is right, and just again, we're just kicked the show off on a tangent. My daughter's a teenager, 16 now, which is terrifying for me. I don't approve of that at all. But she gets something, right? She'll catch like a variant of COVID, the flu, just a damn cold. And she's like, oh, I feel so rough. I've got all these symptoms. Like, oh no, all right, okay. 24 hours later, I mean, the worst, like when she had COVID really badly, was like 2 days and then a couple of days coming out of it. But then she's like, spring chicken. So this, whatever this is, like severe headache followed by like chest and all these different things and issues. And then she's absolutely bounced back, no issue whatsoever. Then it hits me and I'm just like wiped. Yeah. So now she's like, oh, it wasn't that bad. I'm like, oh, you are young. You have an immune system.
Yeah, you wait.
Yeah, but anyway, isn't life fun?
Oh yeah. Our middle child is 7, and he's had a bit of a sore throat for 2 days. I've been in bed for 2 days, like I can't move. My joints ache, like everything. He's had a bit of a sore throat. I'm like, oh, come on.
And he's looking at you like, come on, old man.
Yeah, come on, I've coughed twice. Why are you in bed? Yeah, that sort of thing.
What is wrong with you?
Oh, dear.
All that aside, to kick us off.
Should we go full British and just go the weather's crap as well? And then we've covered everything for being British. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, the weather isn't great. We got quite a lot. To cover. Let's kick off with the Brentford game.
Okay. Yep.
How do you summarise a game where? So, a little insight there. Anyone who doesn't know, and by the way, and I keep getting messages along these lines, and I do apologise that I don't do this more often. Obviously, a lot of people are returning to the show. Thank you so much. We love having you with us.
Yes.
If you are new to the show, firstly, we ramble a lot, so prepare to wander off on severe tangents. But secondly, yeah, I'm Sam. He's Stefan.
Welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, hello. But yeah, a lot of the kind of in jokes or assumed things I don't explain anymore. Like I just kind of just carry on like everyone knows. It's like, talking to a group of people and they all know me. I can say that. And then every now and again I'll get an email or something like, oh, I can't believe you said this. And I'm like, yeah, but that's a joke because of, right, you're new. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Welcome to the club, kid. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, so firstly, Laura's a friend, not an enemy. No, I didn't say that about her in a nasty way. And,
No.
yeah.
Lovely Laura is actually lovely. And
Yeah.
we all get on fine. Yeah.
To use like, the young person parlance, fit as anyway.
Yeah.
So what I was gonna say was the Brentford game. So for anyone who doesn't know, the Spurs News podcast is part of the Spurs News empire. We have a Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, or refuse to call it what that idiot calls it. We've even got a TikTok.
We have.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Yeah, we are down with the kids, yo. And actually, do you know one of the things that I started on TikTok and now I do for every game, and sometimes it's fun and most of the time it's not, is I'll put together the images from the game. So during a match day, you'll get all the club release loads of images like the players arriving, warming up, and then during the game, the opposition team would do the same, like at our ground and stuff like that as well. And, you get all the media sources as well, release loads of pictures during the game. And sometimes some of them are fantastic. Like some photographers doing an incredible job. So I put together a compilation for every game. I started it last season and instantly regretted it because I realised, like, I'm doing this every game now. And we're playing like 2 games a week at the time. It's like, that's a lot. But I'm one of those people that now I've started it. I'm like, well, I can't stop. Like, because... I put together the compilation of the Karabag win last night. By the way, am I saying that right? Karabag? Because I said carrier bag last week being lazy and a few people said it was disrespectful. I didn't mean it to be. I was just literally being lazy as hell.
Yeah,
I think it's Karabag.
Karabag.
Yeah. So it's not meant to be disrespectful. I'm Bristolian. I can't pronounce shit. So
it's a great excuse.
Hey, it served me well. I'm like 41 now. I'm nearly 42. I'm 42 in January.
I know.
Yeah, 42 is my lucky number. I'm so dead, aren't I?
We'll see.
Literally, my birthday is like, oh, it's my birthday. Oh, there we go. That'd be about right. Of course, it's the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. So that's a nerdy joke. Let me know. Get in touch if you get that. There we go. I did this the other day. Do you know Ryan, one of the listeners? I did that thing the other day where I was like, okay, that's a really niche reference. If anyone gets it, message it, and he did. He messaged me straight away. Yeah. So that was a reference. Very nerdy. Anyone gets it, message me. Let me know. First person wins.
Respect. Yep.
Picture of Steph's feet. Anyway,
Ooh,
so what I was trying to say was when I went back, hey, he sells them for a lot of money. Don't you knock that? That's a big gift I'm giving away there. So man, I've gone off on such a freaking tangent again. We're 10 minutes in. I don't think I've talked about anything. Anyway, we got a Facebook page, and on the Facebook page we do game updates for every single match that's going on, and typically it's me that does them. We have set images for like kickoff and all these different things. Well, it's 5. I think it's kickoff, halftime, full time, goal, and goal conceded. Those are the 5 images. So I load them up on my phone.
Yep.
So I got them all ready. So I wait for it to kick off, and I get the kickoff image. I write, we're underway. Da, 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 da. By the time I'd hit send on that message, we were 1-0 down.
Mate, it was mental, wasn't it? Like I was working at the weekend. I wasn't able to watch the game. I had to watch the highlights afterwards.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh yeah, I was watching. So I'm watching like the commentary on my phone.
Yeah.
And the best was where my phone had kind of lagged slightly. I actually got the goal conceded before I got the kickoff notification.
Yeah, well, I can
that
understand
confused
that.
Me.
Yeah, see, I can understand that because I literally hit send. Yeah, literally hit send on kickoff and then was like, okay, and
Next.
I need to type goal conceded. And the thing, right, see, in
We
modern
can
football
look
as
back
well,
and laugh now because we know what the final score was, so we're allowed to laugh. But
I
at the
wasn't
time,
laughing at the time.
oh mate, I was raging.
Oh, I wasn't laughing there.
No, I was raging.
I don't suppose it is so damn funny. I just, it was one of sorry, it was so funny because the commentator I was listening to, what he said was, I can't remember, like, I'm paraphrasing slightly, and a few people probably would have heard the same thing, is, so I'm busy doing this, so I'm not actually got my eye on the screen, I'm listening, so all I heard was, Brentford started so quickly last week, what they would give for an early goal again, it's 1-0!
Yeah!
And I was like, you son of a bitch!
Yeah, wow, okay.
Like, you did that!
Yeah.
Right.
He's literally paid for that one, yeah.
Oh, yeah, do a commentator and he's a kicking. Yeah, Brentford started one last week, they got 1-0! It's like, and the worst thing is, like, in football now as well, with VAR, sometimes I have to delay posting. So, like, sometimes I look at it and I'm like, I can't post goal or goal conceded because I have no idea if that's on or off. Or
yeah, you're waiting for the approval.
So I'm waiting.
Sucks. Yeah.
So I'm, like, lining it up but not hitting the post button. Just like, okay, just sort of dragging my feet. But with this one, I was like, yeah, that's such a goal.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing helping me here. We're, like, under a minute into the game and we're 1-0 down. The one thing I would say, which is probably silly, but as a mentality thing, it felt like the team going 1-0 down that early, that kind of crazy, just took all of the tension out of them. It was almost like the whole team went, what the fuck?
What are we doing now?
Yeah. Well,
Wait a minute.
I'd say that they just seem to then play. Which we've watched the opening few games of this season, and it's been very, look, we're on the ball, we're on the ball, we're on the ball, we're still on the ball. Someone shoot! No, we're on the ball.
Yeah.
Look, there's a chance. Take the. No, I'm on the ball.
It's got an open goal. He's passed it to the winger.
Yeah, it's like, okay, 88% possession and 5 shots. Well done, everybody. Yay! But,
yeah, that's been frustrating.
It's like walking away with a participation trophy and just being like, fuck yeah. So it's been a bit odd. So this is the first game against Brentford this season where we've not had possession dominance.
I know, we had less possession after 90 minutes than the opposition.
Yeah.
Yes!
Now that's happened in 2 games in a row now. Because Karabag out-possessioned us, but we were down to 10 for quite a lot, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, so... I don't know about you, but I was just kind of... I watched the game, and I didn't see it as we were surrendering the ball a lot, so I feel like it was fairly... I don't know, I mean, I felt like it was fairly even. I'm just looking at. I mean, yeah, it was.
Yeah,
so
looking at the stats like now,
they had
I'm
52.
Like, wow.
They had 52% possession. We had 48%. They had 6 shots and 6 on target and scored in under a minute. All right.
Yeah.
We had 23 shots with 10 of them on target and scored 3 goals.
What I love is the fact we only had 3 off target, but they managed to block 10 shots according to this. That's impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, they defended very well. Interestingly, they had 4. Here's a stat I'm looking at more and more. But they had 4 corners, which they didn't score from. Just putting that out there.
Get in there.
I'm just gonna bring that up constantly. So Brentford 1, Tottenham Hotspur 3. The goals coming from Dominic Solanke. How important was it for Big Dom to get that goal?
Massively. Like, it was a striker's finish as well. The whole kind of rebound into his foot and finish.
Becoming a signature move.
It is 2-2 for him, pretty much the same way. But I'm okay with that. Like, I am more than okay. If we have a forward who is going to be able to be alert and quick enough to kind of bounce on the loose balls.
Yeah, friend of the show, Coach Ali, or the coach as I like to call her. She tweeted yesterday, seeing a striker when a shot was coming in, spin the defender and follow the shot should be what all strikers do, but it's really not. And so she really highlighted that for me, and I watched, and he did that for his goal, and I'm sort of watching him, and his movement for that is fantastic. So yeah, sorry, going back to the Brentford game, I was delighted for. I mean, I was delighted for us as a team because I mean that was the 8th minute, so we battled straight back and went to 1-1.
Yeah.
Now I was delighted for him because, as Ange Postecoglou pointed out last night sarcastically to TNT Sports, yeah, Dom went on a really barren run of 2 games. It was terrible. And I was kind of like, all right, you sarky Aussie bastard, easy.
I love that. Like, he's really got that kind of sass at reporters, isn't he?
Yeah, he does. He does at times speak to journalists, kind of like, "Oh, you scum,"
Yeah.
asking me these stupid ass questions. But no, he's. I mean, he's pretty.
Well, I know he had that.
Guy.
He had the pop at the reporter. Was it after the North London derby, where they kind of asked a question, then kept talking? He went, "Are you gonna let me answer the question, or are you just gonna keep asking it? Like, what are we gonna do?"
No, I mean, yeah.
Like, he does. He does get a bit prickly. Bless him.
Yes, prickly. That's nice. That's nice. Now, so Solanke got his goal, which I felt was really important. But the next person to score, who I felt really needed it, and then did a little shush, was Brennan Johnson.
Yeah.
Brennan Johnson put us 2-1 up, and
that was 2-2 for him. And we spoke on the last podcast about his lack of celebration for an injury time winner, and we kind of went, yeah, I can understand that the week he's had, the 3 days or whatever it was that he had, I get that, fair enough. He then scores the second goal on like the 28th minute against Brentford, and he does celebrate. He does with the shh thing, and I'm like, oh. Okay, lad, you've made your point now. You've made your point.
I'm here for it.
You've backed it up on the pitch, and you are shutting the haters down. And I'm like, good boy. Good boy. Like,
good boy. Yeah, you say that was strange. Good boy. Good boy.
Yeah, like,
here, boy.
The first one was, I'm not going to celebrate if you're going to hate me. The second one is, yeah, look what I'm still doing. Fuck you, haters. I'm like, yes, lad.
I don't know. I mean, there's one of the things I'm realising through the tiny, minute little bit of we have where people just hate me or hate the show is that you actually can't do anything right. So he could finish this season with 30 goals and we could win a trophy because of his brilliance. He could end up with like a setting an assist record, and he could do everything that gives him like a Gareth Bale level season. And in the start of next season, he doesn't score in the first game, and all those people would be like, "Oh bloody hell! See, I always told you he was shit." And you're like, "What?" Yeah. We just like 30 games in a row, he's been the best player on the planet, and then he has this off day. And you're like, "See, I told you." And that appears to be.
I knew it wouldn't last. Yeah.
It's like the people who were so. Oh God, here we go. This is when I get hate. It's like people who were so blinded by the opinion that Daniel Levy is the devil.
Oh, you're slagging off Daniel Levy. Oh.
No. Yeah. I'm not slagging off Daniel Levy.
Oh, Daniel Levy lover. Go get out of his pocket. There you go. Just make sure. Just covering all bases.
This is it. Yeah, this is it. This is where I'm at. So, like, if I say something now, which I'm about to, that some people are so entrenched in that, they're unable to actually look past that agenda, that view. So, like, we signed Solanke for a lot of money, and me and you had a lot of conversations about it. Some of it's gone on the podcast where it's just like, oh, I don't know. It's like never a player I really fancied, never a player I really looked at and went, yeah, that's a striker for me. But I completely kind of have faith in the way that we're looking at recruitment now, and the way Ange is heavily involved. And so I have to trust that, Ange isn't bringing in a player. It's like, oh, well, he won't fucking work in my system. That's stupid. And where you look at Tony and stuff, who everyone's like, oh, we should have gone for him. I was like, he never would have done the work rate that, Ange wants.
No.
Solanke is 100% showing that,
Mate, the games he's played so far, the amount of miles he must have covered. I think they measure it in kilometres. But yeah, the distance he has covered is
him and Kulusevski are just absolute
workhorses, aren't they? They are going for it.
And very good players.
Yeah.
So the Brentford
constant. The press is just there every time.
Yeah. So Brentford, we ended up winning 3-1, which surprised me, but I was delighted.
I need to go back and listen to the podcast because I'm sure one of us said 3-1. I mean, you might have said 3-1 to Brentford.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you just said that. By the way, I'm really glad you just said that. So, Rock Me Amadeus. Rock Me Amadeus messaged in via Instagram fame, and he messaged Laura, and he said, I think it's funny that Sam slagged off all these people being negative for an entire podcast, and then when predicting the score, said Brentford were going to win. Now, again, Rock Me Amadeus. You are a listener of this show for a long time, and I would expect you to know better. However, it would appear because I had a somewhat grumpy bastard tone last week, because before we started recording, I'd literally read a load of people calling me every name under the sun. So I went into the show a little bit irked. You
went in full Brennan Johnson.
I don't think I could ever go full Brennan Johnson, but I went in angry.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't drive angry, you shouldn't, drink angry, and you shouldn't podcast angry, apparently. Because clearly my tone didn't come across. Now, the irony of that wasn't lost on me, because that was the joke. It's like, oh, bloody negative people, I'm so fed up of it. How are Tottenham going to do? Oh, we're going to lose. So that was kind of meant to be a joke. So apologies if that didn't come across, but that was kind of what it was meant to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not getting into you in predictions and scores, because you do this to me all the time where you're right, and then I put money on it and it all goes wrong. So
I was right. What was I right about?
Predicting scores.
Oh, okay.
And you're also an unbearable prick when you get it right. Anyway, we are going to head to questions from our fellow fans.
Now it's time for your comments from our social media.
So, you're never going to guess what?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have any on Facebook.
Now, that tells you it's been a good week at Tottenham.
Well,
because no one's got anything to moan about, which is nice.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Bum. We do. Okay.
I'm just going to very quickly give a bit of a service announcement. The heavens have just opened, and I am sat close to a window, so I'm going to try and edit it out. But if you can hear stuff in the background, it is just absolutely downpouring.
Okay, all right. So
just so we all know,
you're
going to need to after this, yeah.
Okay, so on Facebook, Tom Perk says, who is a player you believe we should never have sold, and which ex-player would benefit most from working under Ange? I can answer that with one player.
Yeah, there is the very obvious one, isn't there, really? The absolute obvious is...
Oh, yeah.
No. That's not where I thought that was going.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Correct
sorry, man.
club.
It's so obvious, No. Club legend, hero to the people,
clearly
fighter in the stands.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't literally... Oh, you're thinking of like Harry Winks, like a former academy player.
I genuinely think Winks would have done great in this squad. He would have been the Pape Sarr role. He would have been brilliant.
Who is a player who believe should never have been sold? Oliver Skip. There should be a statue of him. Yeah. To be honest with you, Tom, I think despite my ongoing love-hate relationship with him, it's Harry Kane. I think the situation where we as a club had to let him leave, when you consider the level of player he should be something that the board are embarrassed of. They should be embarrassed by that, and we as the fans should never let them forget it.
Can you imagine just how many goals he would score?
And that's the second part, which is which ex-player would benefit most from working under Ange. Do you know, it's funny because there's loads of stories about this, and you're never going to know the 100% truth. You're never going to know it. But there is a very reliable group of people who have said to me consistently that, do you remember on the day that Kane was supposed to be going for him, all of a sudden he didn't go for his flight, for his medical and stuff. And these rumours flew around that, oh, hang on, there's a last-minute hiccup. And there's a last-minute thing. The rumour is that Kane was so kind of like, I could score a fuckload here. Like, the way we're going to play. Because he played the pre-season. Like, he went on the tour. He was playing the pre-season. He played against Shakhtar, I think, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I think he scored 2 in the game. And he must have just been playing that, thinking to himself, oh yeah, this would be fun again.
Yeah, this could be fun.
This could be fun. And apparently he was kind of like, oh, I don't know if I want to go. Like, I don't want to say it. But I think the thing, like, again, and look, you're never going to know unless you're in the room. There's always going to be rumours and stuff like that. And this is the sort of rumour that you can imagine Tottenham fans wanting to spread, because it's what you want to believe. You'd want to believe that he was like, no, I don't want to go. I know
He's being dragged to the airport by his toes.
Taking him away. Yeah, I mean, again, the rumour is that Daniel Levy basically said to him, look, if you're not going to sign a new deal today, you're gone. Like, I've sold you. Go.
Like, Harry, get in the car. I don't want to. Harry, get in the car. I don't want to.
Yeah, I like that idea. I mean, other than the fact that he's now, like, basically living it up in Germany. England captain, dressed in Bavarian outfits at Oktoberfest.
It's just so wrong.
It's just awful. I mean, Tom, I think Harry Kane answers both of those. What about you, Steph? Do you think him as well, or do you have someone else in mind?
I think Harry Kane is the very obvious answer.
Fucking hell, no need to get shitty about it. That's
I would love to have seen, you can't, I would love to have seen like a prime Bale playing in this system.
Yeah.
I think that would have been special.
Yeah. But that's like, yeah.
We had a Bale come back under the Jose era, and even then still banged in like 14 goals, playing awful football. Can you imagine if he had come back? Even if he had come back at the same point as when he came back with Jose, but playing in this
I just don't think I can have the sort of thought about Bale coming back when he's been back and left. Like, you know.
Yeah.
When Gareth Bale left us to join Real Madrid, he won a trophy in every single season of his football career except for the one season he came back to us on loan.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. We had an email. Email came in from Ben. Ben Thierry. Hi, Ben. Ben asks, who is your current favourite Spurs player and why? I'm torn between Decky and Van de Ven. Both seem to embody the effort required and just take it in their stride to work towards what we're trying to achieve. They quietly get on with it. So of the current players, who is your favourite? Now, my favourite got sold.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
My favourite's got sold in consecutive seasons. Like
I am trying my very, very best, because I'm old and I should know better, not to overtly get attached to anyone in this team. But at the same time, I am struggling somewhat because I do form attachments with players and stuff. I can kind of see myself. So I can't pick out a favourite, right? Like, I can't say to you, in this team, this is my favourite. But what I will say is, Son Heung-min has my heart forever.
Yep.
He plays with a certain smile and has led the club since becoming captain in a way that I feel is real leadership. captaincy on the pitch isn't screaming and bawling. It's bringing everyone together, and you only got to listen to the players, especially the youngsters and new signings, to listen to. Son messaged me today, the day I signed, and Son he got my number from me. He contacted me, asked me, where I'm moving. He's helped me. He went to view, one of the young players. He went to view a house with me, so I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, that's true. That's like an ambassador for the club, isn't it? More than a captain.
Yeah. So the guy has my heart forever. I think Vicario is delightfully batshit crazy, and the more batshit crazy shit he's doing, the more I like him, which I think really reflects perhaps poorly on me. I don't know, but like he'll do something absolutely friggin' mental. I'm like, I love that guy, and he'll also pull off saves that I'm just like, you have no right saving that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But he does, and he does it every game. And Romero's a psychopath. I genuinely believe that if football didn't take him, he'd be in Narcos.
That's got mafia written all over him.
Yeah. He literally has, he's got the look of a killer. Like, you just look in his eyes sometimes, you're like, QT, what are you looking at? Your grave. What? Yeah, terrifying. Van der Ven, so often, Van der Ven's one of those people, he can't hide things on his face. Now, we all know people like that, right? Sort of like, you've got to nudge them, like, be nice. Well, I am being nice. Your face. Oh, yeah. and like, he come off the pitch last night against Karabag, and all these players are walking past the camera going, yeah, well, we won. He walked past and went, whew. And he does stuff like that all the time, and I'm kind of like, yep, okay, kind of love you for that. Also, he's freaking rapid, which every time I see him,
and he shouldn't be like someone of that sort of height and stuff. Just has no right being that fast.
Yeah, I've seen him a couple of times where I swear, I think it's the way he plays, which is he will give the striker space, because if the ball comes to the striker in air, he can close the gap and win the ball in the air quite conveniently. If it goes through the gap, he backs himself. So it's like he gives them that space to like go on, pass the ball to him. Go on, see what happens.
Yeah. And he appears behind them so quickly once they get the ball. Like, hi.
It is bizarre. I'm like, oh my god, where's Van der Ven? Oh, there he is. He just came out a shot, but is suddenly 3 strides and he's right there. Okay, that's terrifying. So Pedro Porro, the guy is an offensive weapon. I mean, he's got a shot on him. It's like something out of the Mighty Ducks movies. Again, another niche reference.
Yep.
And then he also celebrates defending like he scored a hat trick, and I love that.
Yes.
That endears people to me. Like, he absolutely goes ballistic. Like, ah! It's like, okay, calm down. You just blocked someone from the halfway line. That's all it is. It doesn't matter. I defended.
I did that. Yeah.
We all saw you. Udogi, Sar, just look cool, calm all the time. Just sort of like, we're here. Like, they almost look like they could be playing the game in sunglasses. You know what I mean? They're just like, hey, we're chill. Ridiculously endearing qualities to all of them. Benson Kuro got a few issues with, but not really as a player. Basuma, I think is an idiot, but our idiot. We all know why I think he's an idiot. We'll move on. Kulusevski, I mean, the guy is a very talented football player, and I mean very talented. The stuff he can do, again, you know that old adage, great feet for a big man.
Yeah.
Great feet for him. I mean, he's built like a brick shithouse. But
I was listening to the commentary last night, actually, and one of the commentators
and they said built like a brick shithouse.
Not far off. They basically said about the fact that, Kulusevski, the way he can move his feet, he's not built like a typical winger, is he?
No,
he's a stocky, he's a muscular boy. He's not built like a winger, but the way he can move his feet, and I'm like, the polite way of saying, built like a brick shithouse, but quick feet.
It's more like a rugby winger than a football winger, basically. So, no, he is very imposing physically. He's very skillful. He is very good. But the thing about him as well, which I think is the thing that just won him for me, is like this unbelievable work rate.
Yeah.
Like this season, I'm watching every game. I'm like, hey, Kulusevski's, oh, fair play, tracked back. Oh, there's Kulusevski, fair play, linking up the. Now he's in the. Where the. Is there 4 of him? What the shit?
He's everywhere.
He is everywhere, and he's working his ass off, and he's playing in a role where he's sort of coming in centrally now alongside Matters, and it's like, holy crap! Okay, you are working your ass off to perform this function for the team. I'm dead impressed with him. And speaking of Matters, I don't think we've signed a more likeable player. Like he scored the goal against Brentford and took his shirt off, and then apologised to his mum afterwards because his mum had him in fantasy football and that lost her a point. And so I can't think of a more like likeable, just like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And he's like, I don't know why I did that, and just like I like that. I like the honest, silly goofiness of him in the moment doing that, and then thinking, oh no, why did I do it? Gonna get booked. And then his mum telling him off. I mean, there's nothing more.
You can imagine. He gets to his phone. Mum, I scored. I know. Yeah. You lost me a point. Oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
I am a professional footballer playing in the English Premier League, the peak of the game. I've just scored a goal. My mum told me off.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that a lot. Dominic Solanke, since coming in, his work rate is really just won me. I think when you spend that amount of money on a striker, you're expecting goals, and I'm hoping they're going to flow, but the sheer work rate he's putting in is already impressing me. Brennan Johnson, I like players that have a little bit of an edge and a little bit of an attitude to them. And if people have pissed him off to the point he now has that, then I still think people should never have pissed him off. But I kind of hope he can maybe harness that a little bit as F you, you know?
Yeah.
I think going out and performing for yourself is still and your teammates is still definitely the better motivator. But if right now he's fueled by rage, then steer into it, kid. So it's difficult. Like I've just run through that. It's difficult for me to pick out an absolute single favourite. I've kind of the squad as a whole that Ange is putting together, I'm feeling attached to. I felt very attached to the side Pochettino put together by his 3rd season, and then I watched them go as very close to winning. I'm hoping that we can go that one step further this time.
Oh, we got to hope, haven't we? We got to hope.
Yeah.
I love the fact that email. Your favourite player. I think you rattled off about 14 players.
Good. There you go. Yeah.
Every time you mention a new one, I'm sat again. He's got another one.
He's
got another one.
I've definitely missed a lot, and therefore everyone come now messaging. Oh, you didn't mention so and so.
Yeah. What's Fraser Forster ever done to you? Yeah.
Oh yeah, a lot actually. Stole my girlfriend, son of a bitch. Anyway, so the next thing. He didn't, by the way. See, again, if you're on the show and it's a silly little throwaway joke I'd make.
Yeah.
If you're new, you're thinking, wow, God, Fraser Forster, what a bastard. No, it was a stupid joke.
And in reply to your email, Son is my favourite player, followed by Maddison and Johnson. Done. There we go.
Me, look at me, I can answer questions easy, me. So, we got here. Now, Ben in his email did have another question, but he bottled it.
Oh, okay.
But he wrote it in the email. So now I'm like, do I throw Ben under the bus and read his question out, which he bottled, or do I pretend that someone else sent this question? I know. I'll blur his name from this one to protect him. We've had an anonymous question, unlinked to Ben. There you go, buddy. Saved your ass.
Perfect.
He wanted to know my thoughts on the fan forum.
Diving in, let's go.
So,
buckle up, people.
Yeah, fasten your seatbelts, boys and girls. So I am a great believer that a football club should do better in communication. What I mean by that is this. Currently, it's an English football tradition that the manager fronts press conferences and basically is the front and the face of the club for everything. And I think that's ridiculous. Why should Ange Postecoglou walk into a press conference the day after, let's say, the club slash concessions for seniors and get asked questions about that? He should.
Agreed. Yep.
Daniel Levy should be facing the press to deal with that, but he doesn't. Okay, so if Daniel Levy wants to make those decisions but never answer for them, then the club should appoint a press officer or someone who will field those questions. I feel like Ange walking into a press conference should walk into it on the basis of this is football related, my area, my remit, and he will politely point out to people, will politely give his opinions on certain things, but it just means that actually the press, and we as fans therefore, never actually get direct answers to our questions.
No.
When you get this fan forum, the idea is that there's a group of fans who are lucky enough to get invited along, and sort of ballot systems and things like that. Yep. And those people go there and they can ask questions. Now, let's not be naive and think that if you submit a question saying, "Why are you bold?" you're going to get in, right? Let's not pretend for a minute that the club aren't going to look you up on your socials when you submit, like, "Oh yeah, I'd like to come. Oh yeah, Daniel Levy needs to die. Yeah, I'll put you in a room with him." No, it's not going to happen. So when I read the near consistent, "Oh, no one's there who's like Levy out, are they?" Well, one, you don't know that because perhaps they've been more clever to get invited. And two, are you actually freaking surprised? This is a stage-managed thing by the club.
Oh, yeah.
That I know a few people who have gone to and have absolutely loved it. They think it's wonderful. You got Daniel Levy on stage, you got Lang on stage, you've got the women's team represented, the men's team represented, and people get to go there, and it's a fun evening for everyone who gets to go. People get to ask questions and get answered, but
yeah, I've seen like so much on social media about it. Like, you get the people on social media that are like, "Oh, it's all like staged, and it's funny how the same people ask the question every time there's a fan from this." And someone came back and went,
also not true.
Yeah, someone came back and went, "It's done by a ballot. If you're lucky enough to be there 2 years in a row, good for you. If you don't get through, you don't get through." It's one of those things. Like,
there's a lot of there's a lot of very I don't know what the word is, thinly veiled, not very well hidden stupidity around this.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if everyone who wants to ask a question has to submit it beforehand, and it all gets kind of like, "Whoa, you're not asking that one." I could understand that. However, I don't think it's a case of, "Right, you, sir, you're going to ask a question. Here's your question." I don't believe that, you know what I mean? It's like, come on.
Now, I feel that with us being Spurs News, with Facebook and all the stuff we've got, I feel like when I say this next part, I could easily get accused of being, glass houses throwing stones, or like, "Oh, really?" I'd like to think anyone who follows any of our socials will know we don't do this. There are, especially on Twitter, but Facebook as well, a lot of Tottenham news bulletin style accounts.
Yep.
And they are what most people call aggregators. So what they'll do is they'll take information by journalists and stuff like that and tweet out like straight away. So like on my timeline, for example, let's say a player gets injured or in training, right? And so a journalist will put a news story out, "Oh, Romero's hurt his calf, he's going to be out for 2 weeks." I will read Romero injured, out for weeks, Romero injured, out for up to a month, a variation of that information 20 times from 20 different accounts. Breaking news, right? And
you can guarantee one of them will be like, Richarlison snapped Romero in training, out for 2 months. You're like, come on, you know.
I mean, I don't know about that, but my point I'm trying to bring to this is that happens, and okay, right, that's a fact-based thing, that sort of thing. The thing I really don't like, and I've seen it happen to a lot of things, and is stuff taken out of context.
Yep.
Now, the fan forum, there's no press allowed. I don't like that. I personally don't like that from the club. Yeah, I get it's a fan forum, but you're basically once again ducking questions that I want asked. Because the greatest respect, like if I'm taking my kid to a fan forum and my kid wants to put his hand up and goes, oh, who's your favourite ever Tottenham player or something like that, I don't want then a journalist to be like, oh, good question, kid. And by the way, in 1920, you know, and that's not what it's about.
Some kid did ask Son that exact question.
Yeah, no, I know, yeah. and a lot of people kicked off about it because they're pricks.
Yeah.
But my point, I need to try and bring this in, is Ange Postecoglou was asked a very specific question about, you know, and it was a good, valid question, which a lot of Tottenham fans would want to hear him asked, by the way, which is like, you know, all of the best teams are got a more pragmatic side, you know, they're winning things. Do you feel you're ever going to, like, do that? Because, you know, the club hasn't won anything in such a long time, and we're all, like, looking at us leaking goals consistently, and sort of kind of like, come on, Ange, how about we defend at some point, eh?
Yeah.
You know, I'm paraphrasing. I wasn't there, and I don't believe all the quotes. Now, Ange answered that question, and he answered that in a Bill Nicholson almost way, which is we need to get ourselves playing this way, which is the Tottenham way, and then we will be successful. And when we are successful, which I am determined to bring to this football club, we will win things and it will be glorious. So his whole answer to that is not like, nah, I'm never doing that, mate, I don't change my game, which is how it was written by countless aggregators. Ange was asked if he'll ever change. No, he won't, no matter what. He doesn't care about winning. And I was like, you are off your friggin' tree, but it stirred people up. So 10 to 15 accounts have now gone with this bullshit version of what that was, because one account said, oh, this is what this is. And all of these accounts are like 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, up to like 100,000 followers, and they're tweeting not even a misquote, literally a misinterpretation of what the guy said. So finally, someone had a video of it and put that on Twitter. It's like, what's everyone talking about? Look, this is what he said.
Yeah. And
this
yet
aggravates me.
People will still then probably argue the fact that even though they've got a video evidence, you'll still have to argue it.
They are arguing it. Because they're basically saying that, oh yeah, but he does say that. It's like, no, it's ridiculous. It is absolutely mind-blowing. And it comes back to what I was saying before, where people are so blinded by an agenda, so blinded by, oh, I hate Daniel Levy and everything he does, therefore I will just hate everything and I will see the negative in everything, that they are not actually paying attention to what's being said and what's being done. And you've got a manager there who's basically just saying, I want to play such good football that when we win, we do it in like an incredible way. How does that differ from Bill Nick's quote? Really? You know, the whole, you know, Tottenham, we need to aim so high that even our failures still have the echoes of glory.
I mean, really, Angie's answer, and okay, I understand you've paraphrased a little bit there, I get that. But from what you've just said and what Angie's answer, I haven't seen this, but that's the answer you want to hear. Like, no, listen, lads, like, we're going to do it. We're going to get playing how we want to play. We are going to play the Tottenham way, and we are going to keep working at it till we are playing at such a level that we are going to be successful playing this way. And it's like, fuck yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
these same accounts, by the way, are saying stuff like, "Oh, if only Conte was back, like Ange's being back." Are you kidding me? Oh, if only Jose was given. I'm like, oh, you just
Yeah.
these guys played this anti-football, boring bullshit.
Oh, it was awful. It was so bad.
Like, I hate Chelsea, right? I hate it with a passion. Roman Abramovich is a money laundering, mass murdering fuck, and what he did to that football club and what he did to football in general really should still be a shame on the Premier League. One of the things that he once did and said was, despite winning the league and everything, he fired Conte because, one, he was a pain in the ass to work with, and two, the football was shite.
Yeah.
His words. Like he'd go to God knows how many Chelsea games and he got bored watching it. Now, I get that we are desperate to win a trophy, and I get that. And if that is all you watch football for, like that is your be-all and end-all, to watch millionaires lift a bit of metal that they'll then go on holiday afterwards and all be forgotten about in a couple of days, then that's fine. You be you. Alright, whatever. For me, that shouldn't be the be-all and end-all. The be-all and end-all should be being entertained, enjoying the experience.
Business. Yeah, football is an entertainment business. You need to enjoy the product that you are seeing.
And like, victory and winning stuff, like Ange says, like, we play this way and we are fucking good at it. We will win stuff. Like, we will win. Like, it's...
Yeah.
And it bugged me that, and the wider whole thing about the Tottenham press and the way they handle things, I don't like it. I don't like the fact that they did a fan board representative and then ignore them. It's just a waste of time. I don't like the fact that the minute the trust argued with them on a few things, they've tried to do away with the trust by not engaging with them, which is awful. You know, that's a fully independent fan body that every club has one set up. You only got to look at like the FA's trust board basically calling Tottenham out on a regular basis for just like ignoring things. The Save Our Seniors campaign has gone across multiple clubs now. West Ham and Liverpool fans protested together ahead of their game the other night. Tottenham fans will protest again. The fact that Daniel Levy, I'm just going to leave this on this, right? The fact that Daniel Levy said, when asked about concessions during this thing, that to keep concessions where they are would be catastrophic to Tottenham's finances. Anyone who looks at the accounts, and if anyone wants to, they're online, you can find them, and anyone who struggles with it, I'll gladly help you and point you to it, so you know I'm not making this up. We'll see that you can calculate roughly it's just under 3 million quid the club will save. It's like 2.9 or something like that. That's how much they will save themselves, so in essence make, by not doing these concessions anymore. How good of a look is it that Daniel Levy say on stage, oh no, if we don't do this, you know, it's a big impact, when he paid himself a £3 million bonus in the last financial year?
Yep. Doesn't exactly look good, does it?
It just means it's bullshit. It means what he's saying there in that fan forum to all those fans who have paid and people have asked this question is a lie. Because if 3 million quid was some sort of difference maker in the club's finances and everything like that, then he, one, wouldn't be able to have paid himself a £3 million bonus.
Yep.
And two, if he had, the rest of the board should be freaking screaming. And by the way, they all got paid bonuses. The £3 million bonus to Daniel Levy is the headline grabbing one because of this is him and then there's this and it's about 3 million each.
Yeah.
The other board members, you know, they shared millions each as well. So how is all of that possible? All that shows is that, no, it's not. This isn't a decision being made like, look, we're struggling here and this is what we got to do. This is a greed issue. This is a choice that is being made. And when he tried to sell it, when he tried to say, because we got a responsibility to get young fans into the stadium and not just subsidise older people, that pissed me off.
Yeah, it goes back to that whole legacy fan thing, doesn't it? That pissed so many people off.
But do you want to know why that really pissed me off?
Go on.
There was no junior concession for the Carabao game.
No.
So, Daniel, again, in front of the fans, in a fan forum, you're talking bollocks.
Yeah.
Don't insult people's intelligence. Now,
especially
what is annoying
when things
for me,
like the accounts are there in the public eye. It's like, come on.
What's annoying is he's almost becoming Trumpian in his, I'll just keep saying this, and that it becomes fact. No, it doesn't. And because he won't speak to journalists, he won't do press conferences, he won't engage in this, he won't answer questions on this, he'll just pop up in these little staged, managed things where he can do a soundbite then leave. No one gets to call him on it. No one gets to go, well, Daniel, you paid yourself £3 million and it's about 3 million saved, so how can you say it's important?
Cool. How quickly do you reckon someone in that fan forum would have been upped out and lifetime banned if they had have stood up after he said that and went, what about your £1 million bonuses? That went off, woof, he's gone. Who the fuck said that?
Yeah.
Who was that?
Yeah. Oh, look. You see how fast that security guard came in? It was like Mickey Van der Ven.
Yeah.
So look, I'm not going to say any more on that. If people want to hear me talk more on it, then drop me a question or whatever. But I can't spend another hour doing that. Instagram has questions.
Woo, lovely.
Laura is very thankful. She'd been missing people a lot. She stopped crying now, so thank you everyone. This is good. The Johnny Stark says, curious to know your thoughts on Radu so far this season. I can tell you Polynesian Dan doesn't rate him.
Yeah, he was going on one yesterday, wasn't he?
Yeah, that shook me a little bit. On him this season, it's very difficult to say. I think I've seen 7 minutes of him. No, you might have played a little bit more. See, I like Dragishin. Everything I've seen of him, I've been very impressed.
He was very good at the Euros. I know that wasn't in a Tottenham shirt, but he was very good at the Euros.
Yeah, I just I don't overly get that he made a mistake against Karabakh, big time.
I loved his face afterwards when he spins around, and looks at the ref and goes,
yeah.
What? What did
No,
mate?
you can see his face. I think you could see on his face, like, shit, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Like that was so dumb. And when he's walking off, he's like, I know. and you just know that he's in that dressing room like, oh, please win. Like, please win. Like, I feel like an ass. And look, we all make mistakes. And he will hopefully learn from that. I'm sure the coaches will sit him down and go, Radu, 90th minute, take the guy out. 7th minute, hope he misses. Okay?
Yeah.
Do not get sent off in the 7th minute.
You could imagine he's like being sat there like a child. Now, can you tell me what you did wrong in this clip?
Yes. Looking at his shoes. Yeah, I can tell you. Are you going to say sorry to everyone? Sorry, everyone. Say it like you mean it. Sorry, God. Yeah.
Now, you're going to write lines, okay? I will not rugby tackle in the 7th minute. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
I wouldn't have rugby tackle. That was girly. Anyway, so I like Dragishin. I don't see one mistake being something that I'm going to hold over his head. I think if he plays a few more games,
I think it was very
stuff
difficult
consistently.
Yeah, like he's not played many minutes at all this season. He then comes in from the start, and the first guy kind of runs past him. That happens. I do put a bit of that down to rustiness. Like, he hasn't got many match minutes in him. It's always difficult to come in if you haven't got minutes under your belt.
It is difficult, but I mean that's what good players need to do.
Yeah,
you need to be ready for it. And so, yeah, he made a mistake. he lost the ball and then tried to win it back and fouled the guy, and he was the last defender. He had to go. I mean, I don't think there's a debate really.
No, it was a red. Yeah.
So yeah, Island Brother has messaged in. Now, Island Brother, you've not messaged in such a long time. I don't have your theme tune lined up or anything. I gave up. I thought you were lost to us on an island somewhere. But if you are back and you are sending in messages, then I will reload it, because we all need that little bit of sunshine, especially whilst it's bloody raining all the time. Hello, Spurs News team. Hope that all of you and your families are well. To the lovely Laura, apologies life has gotten in the way, but I've caught up on the podcast and would like to vocalise my appreciation for the work you and the rest put into this great pod. He goes on to mention about Seb not being well. Sends him his best, which is thank you. Now he goes on to Spurs. Are we moving forward? 3-3 for a certain quote in quote wasteman. 2-2 for a quote unquote bootleg Kane. This is football, and 45 minutes can change a conversation. Was appalled that our supposed fellow Spurs supporters are up to online. Targeting our own players helps no one. Knuckle draggers, the lot of them. Well said. So, question: what would qualify as a successful season to each of you? As always, keep up the stellar work and come on, you Spurs. That's a difficult one.
I want to say a trophy.
Well, you should then.
Like that, for me, getting a trophy and challenging top 4, that is a successful season. In my eyes.
Okay.
If we don't get a trophy, then it needs to be we are in the top 4. To keep progressing from last season.
See, I get a kind of stabbing pain when they're like equated to each other. Top 4s are everything. It like hurts.
I know. I know what you mean. But I want to say is we need to keep progressing. Last season we just missed out on the top 4, so this season we need to be getting top 4. But I want a trophy.
Okay, so the Premier League's ridiculous. I mean, the Premier League, there are probably 8 teams now who are competing for the top 4.
Yeah.
And that you would say are genuinely competing.
That
and then probably another 4 teams that you look at and go, oh, they could though.
Yeah, I was going to make a joke about Man United, but as we have them next, I'm refusing to, just because that's a comeback to bite me I don't need. Yeah.
No. So look, very quickly then, the Carabao game. We won 3-0, nice and easy, no problems. Straightforward result, right? I mean, in like the opposition nearly scored 1,000 friggin' times.
Oh mate, that game aged. I put that game down to the reason I've not been well.
Yeah, that could actually play a major part in. I mean, I didn't sleep well last night after watching it.
I did not enjoy that game.
No, I think I put on Twitter, like, how is it we won 3-0 and yet I feel so exhausted from nerves? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. But, I mean, yeah, Dragusin sent off after 7 minutes obviously greatly impacted the game. But then Johnson, Solanke and Sarr got our goals.
Like, I was only listening to the commentary. But my God, the amount... I've watched the highlights back since. I was still not very well last night, so I was going to land on the sofa listening to the commentary. And there was just so many moments the commentary were like, I don't know how they haven't scored there. And I'm like, oh, why is he not talking about Spurs? Like,
I can tell you, because we were getting run off the park. Carabao are a good side. And last night, luckily, they left their shooting boots somewhere down the Seven Sisters because they had to get off their bus and run to the stadium. They missed
penalty and
they missed a penalty. I mean, the game had a sending off, a penalty, a goal ruled out for VAR offside, 3 goals from us. I mean, if you're writing a script for Welcome Back to the Europa League, it was this. It was mental. Now, the thing that is really important from our point of view is we went down to 10 men and carried on playing our football and won 3-0. Now, the reason why I think that's important, even if all of us fans are still suffering from blood pressure related issues, is the team can all look at each other today and go, okay, so this works. like playing this way, no matter what, can work.
Yeah.
I mean, Mickey van der Ven had that look on his face of like, how did we get away with that one? but yeah. I will, and I mean, I think it's a comment that is fair, and I think it's a comment that does need to be said, which is, if Karabag had someone who could finish, that game's maybe 5-3 to them.
Yeah.
And that's not even an exaggeration. Now, I know goals change matches, so if they score there, we might suddenly do this, or if we, things might be different. So I know you can't point to that and directly say, oh, it would have been this, but it just, they had a penalty, they had a couple of finishes where you look at it and go, how did you not hit the target?
Yeah. And
there was a couple of saves from Vicario which were just outstanding. Like, it's a ridiculous level of saving.
I've seen one have a shot from the edge of the box, and he just flies across, just punch it out from the top corner, away from the corner, and I'm like, bloody hell. I stand by the fact he is one hell of a shot stopper.
He's a fantastic keeper, and people who are critical of him need to give their heads a wobble. I'm not having it anymore. I'm not even having a debate. You can all piss off. So we won. That's the important thing. It's the first game in the Europa League. It's the first home game.
Format. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. So the next game is going to be away. But we won 3-0. Set our stall out. Off we go. The amazing European adventure begins, and off we go. Now, the League Cup, of course, continues. We had the draw for the fourth round, and in the fourth round, we have drawn Manchester City.
Of course. Who else would we draw in the fourth round of the Cup? Yeah.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting because Pep Guardiola said after the third round that in the next game, he's just going to have to play the kids, the people who never get any minutes. I just can't.
I'm not wasting energy on this Cup. There's too much to play for elsewhere.
No.
Oh, no.
You would not be Tottenham if you didn't instantly look at that quote and go, you bastard.
Oh, we're going to get dicked over
losing
by a bunch of 19-year-olds.
to Manchester City, Haaland, De Bruyne, there is no shame. Losing to their under-17s
with a spattering of first team bench players,
is embarrassing, and we all know it's coming now.
Should we just put money on the fact that Jack Grealish will score at some point, because he always does. He'll come on for like a 70-second cameo at the end and fall over and the ball hit him on the way to the net, because he always freaking scores against us.
I think he has certain Tottenham related PTSD which he's glad to exercise. So that was just very typical. Our next game, also Manchester opponents. We're travelling to Old Trafford to face Manchester United in the Premier League,
the leaky stadium. Yes,
that game is on Sunday, assuming it goes ahead with all of the fun weather going on. But yeah, that is Sunday. Prediction, my friend. What do you think we're going to do against Manchester United?
2-2.
Oh, you negative bastard. 2-2.
I have a feeling like Man United have been poor the last couple. Like, they played very well.
I forget you're a Man United fan.
I'm not. Not United
Man
fan.
United and West Ham.
No. No. Don't start that. You get the fan mail. You go for it. You get the emails, not me.
No, that's good. Yeah, I always forget that.
No, my stepdad is a West Ham fan, and growing up, Man United were the team most on telly, so I have a lot of fond memories watching them with my granddad, watching on telly. I'm not fans of either club. They played well against Palace, but didn't win. It's a game where they were very poor in the Europa League. And
sorry, it just cracks me up. There's like they played really well in that game, but didn't win.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I know I'm going to sound like Roy Keane here. It's like,
I know. And then they played really badly in Europa League and didn't lose. And I'm like, that I don't know how well that... Like, at some point they've got to have a performance that makes you go, oh, bloody hell, like they did in the FA Cup final against Man City.
Mate, I think what you're doing here is what too many Tottenham fans do, and all you're doing is focusing on them. Why aren't you thinking about us? Why aren't you thinking about how good we are, how we're going to go there and play our game, and what we're going to do to them?
All right, 2-0 win to Spurs. Okay, you've talked me around.
All right.
2-0 Spurs.
Cool. I'm going 2-1 United. Okay, so I want to say a massive thank you to everybody for listening. I hope you all have a lovely weekend ahead of you. It's Friday as we record this, and as hopefully you listen, or whenever you listen to it, but it's Friday, it's going out. Have a good weekend. Hopefully we get a good result at Old Trafford. As always, come on you Spurs.
Come on you Spurs.
Thank you for listening to the Spurs News Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Stay up to date with all things Tottenham. Follow us on social media. All links are in the podcast description.